This is Whispers of the Universe. Let the world slow down around you. Tonight, we do not wander into galaxies or rivers of time. Tonight, we step into the quiet chambers of memory, the hidden corridors where echoes live, where every breath you have ever taken still whispers in the dark. Close your eyes. Feel how the present moment is already dissolving, already becoming a trace, already joining the great archive of your being. Memory begins not with clarity, but with silence, a shadow, a scent, a fragment of light. And from these fragments, the story of a life is woven. Breathe slowly. With every inhale, you gather. With every exhale, you release. And yet, nothing is truly gone. Each moment falls behind you, like leaves in a forest path. But the trail is never erased. It is carried within you, unseen but alive. Think of your earliest memory. Perhaps it is blurred, fragile, the color of a wall, the warmth of sunlight through a window, the sound of someone's laughter. You may not recall the details, but you remember the feeling. That feeling is the seed of memory. It anchors you. It whispers, "You were here, you were alive." Memories do not stay fixed. They shift, they soften, they reshape themselves with time. A childhood fear may return years later as tenderness. A sorrow may mellow into wisdom. Memory is not a photograph. It is a living river, always moving, always rewriting its own song. Science tells us that memory is electric, synapses fire, neurons strengthen connections, chemical traces carve patterns in the brain. But beneath the science lies poetry. What is a memory if not light made personal? What is recollection if not the soul painting itself again and again on the walls of time? Imagine walking through a long corridor of doors. Each one leads to a room of memory. Some doors open easily. You step inside and see faces clear as yesterday, hear voices echoing, feel warmth flooding back. Other doors resist. They creak open, and inside you find shadows, broken shapes, whispers you can almost hear but not quite. These are forgotten moments, but even in forgetting, they remain. Sometimes memory returns suddenly. A song plays, a scent drifts by, and without warning, you are transported. Not to a story you choose, but to a moment that chooses you. The taste of an apple may carry you back decades. The sound of rain may lift you into the arms of someone long gone. Memory is patient, waiting for the key that unlocks it. Not all memories are kind. Some arrive like heavy stones. They bring sorrow, regret, grief. They remind you of words unsaid, of endings too sharp, of wounds still tender. Yet even these serve their purpose. They are not punishments. They are teachers. They show you what mattered most, because only what matters leaves an ache. Others are golden threads. They return to you like sunlight. They remind you of laughter shared, of kindness received, of simple mornings that felt eternal. These are the lanterns you carry, guiding you through darker nights. Memory is not only personal, it is collective. The stories of ancestors flow in your blood. The language you speak carries echoes of centuries. The songs you know were sung by countless voices before you. Even the stars above are memories, their light traveling for thousands of years just to meet your eyes tonight. Imagine sitting beside a quiet lake, The surface is still, but when you toss a pebble, the ripples spread outward, touching every corner of the water. So it is with memory. Every moment you live sends ripples forward, touching not only your future self, but also those around you. A word of kindness may echo in another's life for years. A silence may leave its mark just as deeply. Nothing is without consequence. Nothing is without trace. There is mystery in how memory fades. You cannot hold it tight. The harder you grasp, the faster it slips. Yet paradoxically, when you let go, when you surrender, memories return gently, like birds landing when the forest grows quiet. Consider the body's memory. Your hands know how to tie knots, how to write letters, how to touch with tenderness, even when your mind is elsewhere. Your feet remember the paths of childhood, the rhythm of dances you no longer practice. Your heart remembers every rise and fall of love. The body carries what the mind forgets. Memory is not only thought, it is movement, rhythm, imprint. And what of forgetting? We fear it, yet forgetting is not always loss. Sometimes it is mercy. The mind softens what is too sharp, lets go of what is too heavy, so that we may go on. Even in forgetting, the essence remains, woven quietly into who we are. Memory shapes identity. Without it, you would not know yourself. But it also deceives. It paints. It edits. It chooses. Two people may share the same moment, yet remember it differently. Memory is not a camera. It is a storyteller. It tells the truth slant, with colors that shift, with shadows that bend, and in this imperfection lies its beauty. Imagine now that you are holding a small lantern. Inside its flame are every memory you have ever lived. Some burn brightly, others are faint sparks, but together they glow. This lantern is not only light, it is you. You are the keeper of memory, the living archive of countless moments. Breathe again. Inhale the warmth of remembered joy. Exhale the heaviness of remembered sorrow. Let them both flow. Neither defines you alone. Together they form the river of your being. As you rest tonight, know that memory is not something behind you. It is with you, woven into every breath, every heartbeat, every dream that will come. You are not only the present, you are the echo of all that has been, and you too will one day become echo for others. A voice remembered, a smile carried forward, a light that continues after you are gone. Rest now in this truth. Memory is not fragile, it is eternal. You are remembered, always. Close your eyes again. Feel the silence settle deeper. We have entered the first chamber of memory, but the corridor extends further, filled with echoes that wait to be touched. Memory is not only light, it is also shadow. It is the dim outline of things half forgotten, lingering at the edge of awareness. These shadows are not failures. They are reminders that even fading leaves an impression. Imagine walking through a foggy field. Figures appear and vanish. A tree you think you know drifts into mist. A path leads forward, yet when you look back, it has already blurred. This is how memory often feels, half known, half lost, yet undeniably present. The brain does not store memories like books on a shelf. It reconstructs them. Each time you recall, you rebuild. You add, you erase, you color the past with the mood of the present. The story is alive, and because it is alive, it changes. Consider a childhood room. You remember its size, but when you return as an adult, the walls are closer, the ceiling lower. The room has not changed. Memory has. It bends to the shape of who you are now. It whispers the past, but through the voice of the present. This fluidity can be unsettling. We long for certainty. We want memory to be truth carved in stone. But memory is not stone. It is water. It reflects, it distorts, it ripples. It teaches us that truth is not fixed. Truth is experience, and experience always moves. Breathe with that thought. Inhale the certainty you crave. Exhale the acceptance that nothing is permanent. Memory is teaching you humility. It tells you, you are not only what happened, you are what you make of what happened. Some memories are heavy, not because they are precise, but because they carry feeling. The details blur, but the emotion remains. The day of loss, the hour of love, the season of change. You may forget the date, the clothes, the words, but you never forget the weight on your chest, the warmth in your veins, the ache in your silence. Feeling is the deepest ink of memory. Imagine standing at the shore of a great ocean. The waves bring fragments, shells, driftwood, stones. Some are whole, others broken. You never know what will appear, but you know the sea remembers everything it has touched. So too with your mind. The ocean of memory brings fragments. You cannot command them, but when they arrive, they are proof that nothing is lost. Sometimes shadows of memory rise in dreams. You walk through a house you have never seen, yet you know it. You meet a stranger, yet their face carries echoes of someone you once loved. The dream rearranges, but the source is memory. Your sleeping mind is an artist, taking fragments of the past, painting them into new forms. Shadows are not lies, they are layers. They show you not only what happened, but what it meant, what it still means. When a memory returns distorted, it is not betraying you. It is offering you a mirror, not of the past, but of yourself now. There is tenderness in this. It means that memory is not a prison. It is a companion that grows with you. The child you were is still inside, but they wear the colors of your present heart. The shadows you carry are not ghosts to be feared. They are echoes to be listened to. Pause. Breathe. Think of a memory you have long avoided. Perhaps it feels painful. Perhaps it feels unclear. Let it rise not as a judgment, but as a shadow walking beside you. Notice how it changes shape as you face it. It does not remain fixed. It softens. It bends. It teaches. Science tells us that forgetting is as important as remembering. The mind lets go so that it may hold new things. Forgetting is not failure. It is clearing space. The shadow remains, but the weight lessens. This is mercy. This is grace. Imagine now a great archive without walls. Every moment of your life is written there, but not in books, not in ink. It is written in vibration, in the faint hum of existence. Most of it you cannot read, but sometimes a page opens. The wind of memory flips it for you, and suddenly you are there again. The echo becomes voice. The shadow becomes shape. Memories of others live in you too. The words of a parent, the smile of a friend, the silence of someone gone. They echo within, not only as recollection, but as influence. You speak their phrases, you carry their gestures, they live in you, through you. Memory is not only personal, it is inheritance. And even the earth remembers. The stones hold layers of ages. The trees carry rings of years. The soil carries bones of countless lives. When you walk across memory. When you breathe echoes of forests long gone. The universe itself is a memory. Every photon of light is a messenger from the past. Every star you see is telling you a story of long ago. Breathe again. Let the shadows of memory soften. They are not chains. They are reminders. They do not hold you back. They walk with you, teaching you that life is both fragile and eternal. Memory is a paradox. It fades, yet it endures. It distorts, yet it reveals. It forgets, yet it carries. It is both shadow and lantern, both silence and song. As you rest tonight, know that every shadow within you is part of your wholeness. Do not fear what is unclear. Do not despair at what is lost. Nothing is truly lost. It has only changed form, waiting for the right moment to return. Close your eyes. Breathe softly. Let the shadows gather, not as enemies, but as companions. Let them drift around you like quiet smoke, gentle, shifting, harmless. And know this, you are not broken by what you cannot fully recall. You are completed by it. You are the sum of light and shadow, clarity and blur, presence and echo. Rest in that knowing. Rest in the truth that memory, even when fragile, is still yours. It is still carrying you, whispering you forward, even in silence. Close your eyes once more. The corridor of memory stretches further, and tonight we walk into a different chamber, the one where memories do not rest as still pictures, but as living bridges between who you were, who you are, and who you will become. Memory is not a vault of the past. It is a thread that ties moments together. Without it, every day would be an island cut off from the others. But with it, your life becomes a river, flowing continuously, never breaking, always carrying forward. Think of the earliest face you recall. It may be blurred, but it connects you instantly to a version of yourself long gone. That child is no longer here in body, yet the memory keeps them alive, keeps them walking beside you. This is the bridge of memory. It allows you to meet yourself across time. Imagine standing on one side of a river. The present is here, solid beneath your feet. Across the water is the past, a distant shore. Memory is the bridge between. It is fragile, invisible, yet you cross it every day. With every thought, with every dream, you step onto that bridge and meet the lives you have lived before. Some bridges are strong. They carry you easily. You can recall a song, a moment, a laugh, as if no time has passed. Other bridges are frail. You step carefully, afraid they may break. Faces fade, names dissolve, details slip away. Yet even then, the bridge is there. Even when blurred, connection remains. Consider how families build bridges of memory, stories told at a table, photographs carried through generations, voices remembered even when the people are gone. Through these, the past crosses into the present. We do not only remember for ourselves, we remember for one another. Memory is shared, woven into the fabric of belonging. Sometimes the bridge bends. You return to a moment, but it does not look as it once did. The colors shift, the emotions sharpen or fade. This does not make the memory false, it makes it alive. The bridge adjusts itself to carry the weight of who you are now. It shows you not only what was, but what it has become in you. Science tells us memory is scattered. It is not stored whole in one place, but spread like stars across the night sky. Each neuron holds a fragment. Each connection lights a spark. When you recall, you gather constellations. You trace patterns in the sky of your mind, and from scattered lights, you make a shape that carries you across. This is the miracle of remembering. Imagine the bridge glowing beneath your feet. Every step you take across it is a step into both past and present. You walk to meet the child you once were. You walk to meet the friends who once held you. You walk to meet the places that shaped your soul. And when you return, you bring them with you. You are never truly cut off. The bridge is always waiting. But what of the times when the bridge collapses? When illness, loss, or forgetting sweeps away the path? It feels as though the other shore is gone. Faces vanish, names slip into silence. This is a grief deeper than most, the grief of losing the way back. And yet, even then, something remains, because memory is not only yours, it is carried by others. Those who love you hold your story. When your bridge falters, their bridges extend. You are remembered through them, carried forward by their hearts. Think of the bridge of humanity itself. Songs passed down, books preserved, monuments carved. Each is a plank of the collective bridge, allowing the living to walk across centuries and touch hands with the dead. Without memory, we would be adrift. With memory, we are bound together. A single procession crossing the same endless span. Sometimes crossing the bridge is sweet. We smile at what returns. Other times it is painful. We revisit wounds. We feel the ache of loss. But both kinds of crossing are necessary. They remind us that life is whole, that joy and sorrow are not separate rivers, but two currents within the same stream. Pause. Breathe. Step gently onto your own bridge now. Think of a moment that comforts you. Let it rise slowly, like a lantern glowing in the distance. Cross toward it. Meet yourself there. Tell the younger you, I remember you. You are still part of me. And now return. Step back onto the shore of the present. Notice how the bridge still shines, even as you let go of the memory. It does not vanish. It waits. It will always wait. There is wonder in this fragility, that something unseen can hold the weight of a life, that invisible threads can carry its entire worlds across time. The bridge of memory is not made of stone, but it is stronger than stone. Because stone crumbles, memory lingers. As long as it is carried, the past is never lost. Look up at the stars. Their light is memory. Photons traveling for ages, crossing vast distances to arrive here in your eyes. The universe itself walks a bridge of memory, connecting what has been to what is now. When you gaze at a star, You are stepping onto that cosmic bridge. You are touching the ancient with the present. Tonight, let yourself rest in this truth. You are a bridge of memory. Every breath carries echoes of before. Every smile carries light into tomorrow. Every silence is a plank laid for someone else to cross. You are not separate from memory. You are memory in motion. Close your eyes. Feel the bridge beneath you. It is steady. It is luminous. It carries you across darkness, across distance, across time. You are safe upon it. You are whole upon it. You are remembered, forever crossing, forever connected. Close your eyes once more. Let your breath slow. Let the room around you fade until only silence remains. We step deeper now into another chamber of memory, a place where forgotten doors wait quietly in the dark. Memory is not only what you recall, it is also what you do not. It is filled with shadows of days that seemed ordinary, faces you passed without noticing, conversations that dissolved the moment they ended. And yet, none of them are truly gone. They remain like closed doors in a vast hall, waiting for the right touch, the right sound, the right light to open them. Imagine yourself standing in a corridor with countless doors. Some are wide open. You walk through them easily, revisiting birthdays, laughter, the warmth of love. But others are closed tightly, their surfaces worn smooth, their handles cold. These are the forgotten doors. You rarely notice them, yet they are there, lining the walls of your mind. Sometimes a forgotten door opens unexpectedly. A scent drifts by, and suddenly you are a child again, sitting at a table you thought you'd lost forever. A sound echoes, and a voice, long silent, speaks once more in your ears. The door creaks, and then for a moment, you glimpse a room you did not know you still carried. Forgetting is not erasure, it is storage. The brain does not discard, it protects. It tucks moments away into hidden rooms, because to remember everything at once would overwhelm you. Forgetting is mercy, but mercy does not destroy. The doors remain, locked but present. Consider how many days you have lived. Thousands, tens of thousands, each with countless moments. If you held them all in your hands, you could not stand beneath the weight. So the mind sets some aside. It scatters them like seeds in soil, waiting for rain. And when the rain comes, a smell, a song, a fleeting phrase, the seed stirs, the forgotten door opens, and memory blooms again. There is beauty in this. It means that nothing is wasted. Even moments you think have vanished still flow in you, quietly shaping your choices, whispering beneath your awareness. You are made not only of what you remember, but also of what you have forgotten. Imagine holding a book. Its pages are filled with words you cannot read now because the ink has faded. But the pages remain, the impressions faint but real. So it is with memory. Even when you cannot read the story is still inside you. Sometimes forgotten doors open in dreams. A face appears, a place unfolds, a voice speaks. You wake, wondering why your mind invented such details. But perhaps it did not invent at all. Perhaps it opened a door you had not touched in years. Dreams are the caretakers of forgotten rooms, airing them out, letting them breathe. Science tells us that every experience leaves a trace. Neural patterns fire, proteins shift, connections strengthen or fade. Even if you cannot recall, the trace is there. Forgetting is not absence, it is simply quiet. It is the mind's way of choosing what to bring to the surface. The rest remains below, like stones beneath a river, hidden but shaping the flow. Think of all the times you could not recall a name, a detail, a line from a song. Till you search and fail, you sigh and surrender. Then hours later, without warning, it appears. This is the door opening. The memory was not lost. It was waiting. Patience is its language. There is tenderness in forgotten doors. They remind us that the self is larger than we think. You are not only the sum of the memories you can call by name. You are the keeper of vast rooms, many of which you will never fully see. And yet they shape you, they guide you, they are woven into the way you move through the world. Imagine walking again through that corridor. The doors stretch endlessly. Some gleam with gold, others are plain wood, others nearly invisible. You cannot open them all, but you do not need to. They are part of you regardless. Even the unopened doors give shape to the hall. Even what you do not remember makes you who you are. Sometimes forgetting is painful. You reach for someone's face, but it is gone. You search for a moment that wants to find you, but it slips through your grasp. This is the grief of memory, the sorrow of doors that no longer open. Yet even then, the outline remains. The love you felt is not erased. It has only transformed, becoming part of your silence, part of your longing, part of your soul's architecture. Pause. Breathe. Think of a forgotten door in your own mind, something you know is there, but cannot fully see. Do not force it open. Simply acknowledge it. Let it rest. Trust that when the time is right, the door will open and the memory will return in the gentlest way. Forgetting teaches humility. It shows us that we do not control everything. We are not perfect keepers of the past. We are wanderers in a house larger than we understand. And sometimes, the kindest thing we can do is to accept the mystery of closed doors. Imagine now that you are standing before one of these doors. It does not open, yet you place your hand upon it. You feel the wood, the grain, the faint hum of something alive inside. You smile, not with frustration, but with gratitude. For even closed, the door is part of you. Even forgotten, the memory belongs. The universe holds forgotten doors too. Light from distant stars drifts endlessly, much of it never reaching an eye. Yet it is still there, traveling, waiting, perhaps forever unseen. And yet its existence matters. So too with your forgotten moments. Even if never recalled, they are real. They shaped the current. They are part of the infinite river of your life. As you rest tonight, let the forgotten doors be gentle. Do not fear what you cannot name. Do not grieve for what you cannot recall. Trust that everything remains, woven quietly into the tapestry of your being. Breathe again. Exhale the need to remember everything. Inhale the peace of knowing nothing is lost. Close your eyes. Let the corridor stretch. Let the doors rest in silence. And know this: you are larger than what you recall. You are the keeper of both memory and forgetting. And in that balance, you are whole. Close your eyes. Let the silence widen around you. We have walked through the first doors of memory, but the corridor still stretches ahead. Tonight, we step into another chamber, a place where the weight of memory reveals itself, where recollection is not a light whisper, but a stone pressed against the heart. Not all memories float like feathers. Some settle like rocks. They sit deep in the body, in the chest, in the stomach, in the spaces between breaths. They do not move easily. They wait. They remind. They return at unexpected hours, as if to say, I am still here. You have not let me go. Think of the times when a memory arrives uninvited. You are walking, and suddenly you hear a voice from years ago. You are resting, and suddenly an image flashes. A goodbye you never wanted, a word you wish you had spoken. The body tightens, the breath catches, the present dissolves into the weight of the past. These are heavy memories. They are not chosen, they are not gentle. They carry the sharpness of regret, the ache of loss, the sting of mistakes. And yet, they are part of the river too. The current does not carry only light. It carries stone, it carries shadow, it carries grief. Imagine standing at the edge of a riverbed. The water flows clear, but beneath it lie countless stones, some smooth, some jagged, some glittering, and some dark. The water moves around them, but the stones remain. This is how heavy memories live in us. They shape the flow of our days, even when unseen. There is sorrow in this, but also meaning. For what is heavy is often what mattered most. You do not ache for what was empty. You ache for what was full, for what touched you deeply. The weight is proof of love, proof of care, proof that you lived with intensity. Think of grief. At first, it is unbearable, a stone pressing so hard you cannot breathe. But time is patient. The current does not lift the stone away, but it wears the edges smoother. The sharpness dulls, the heaviness remains, but it becomes easier to carry. The stone does not vanish. It becomes part of you, part of the riverbed of your soul. Breathe slowly. Feel the weight inside you. Do not push it away. Do not demand it to leave. Let it sit, like a stone beneath flowing water. The current moves, the weight remains, and yet both belong. Some heavy memories are personal wounds, the words spoken in anger, the silence that cut deeper than sound, the day you turned away when you longed to stay. These return again and again, circling like whirlpools, pulling you back. They remind you of your humanity, of your limits, of your imperfection. But they also remind you that you cared enough to regret. Regret is love turned backward. It is proof of value. It is shadow born of light. Other heavy memories are tied to loss. The absence of someone who once filled your life. The empty chair, the unspoken words, the photographs that both comfort and wound. These are stones, too, carried not because you choose to suffer, but because to forget would feel like betrayal. The weight is a form of devotion. It says, you mattered, and I will not let you vanish. There is a strange tenderness in heaviness. It teaches you to slow down. It reminds you of the depth of love. It humbles you, for it shows that no matter how strong you are, you cannot escape the ache of being human. To live is to carry stones. To love is to accept their weight. Imagine again the riverbed. The stones do not stop the flow. The water moves around them, over them, through them, and in time, The stones shape the water's song. The current hums differently because of what it carries. So too does your life sing differently because of the memories you hold. Sometimes heavy memories visit in silence. Late at night, when the world has gone quiet, they rise. You may wish them away. You may turn your face from them, but they do not leave. And perhaps they are not meant to. Perhaps they are companions of another kind, walking with you not to punish, but to remind you that your story is woven with shadow as well as light. Science tells us that traumatic memory imprints deeply. It floods the body, etches itself into the nervous system. The mind may try to forget, but the body remembers. A sound, a smell, a gesture, and the past is present again. This is the nature of weight. It lingers not only in thought, but in flesh, in heartbeat, in breath. Yet even the heaviest stone can be transformed. Time does not erase, but it reshapes. What was once unbearable becomes bearable. What once cut becomes scar. A scar is not disappearance, it is survival. It is proof that the weight was carried and did not destroy you. Pause now. Think of a memory that weighs on you. Do not run from it. Do not fight it. See it as a stone in your hands. Notice its shape, its texture, its coldness. Notice also that you can hold it without being crushed. The stone is heavy, but you are strong. The river carries you both. Some stones glimmer. Even heavy memories can shine. In grief, there is love. In regret, there is care. In sorrow, there is proof that something mattered enough to leave a mark. The glimmer does not erase the weight, but it changes how you see it. You begin to hold it not only as burden, but as reminder, as teacher, as echo of what was precious. Imagine now a traveler walking with a pouch of stones, some heavy, some light. The pouch grows heavy at times, but the traveler continues. Every stone is part of their story. To throw them all away would be to erase themselves. So they carry slowly, patiently, step by step. And though the journey is heavy, it is also whole. This traveler is you. This pouch is your memory. The universe carries weight too. Stars collapse under their own gravity. Black holes hold the memory of all they have consumed. Planets bear scars of impacts from ages past. The cosmos itself is heavy with history, yet it moves, it expands, it continues to sing. So too with you. Your heaviness does not end your story. It is part of your expansion, part of your song. Breathe again. Inhale light, exhale heaviness. Notice that even as you release, the weight remains inside you, but gentler now, less sharp. You do not need to discard it. You only need to carry it with kindness, to hold it without hatred, to let it rest as part of who you are. The heaviest memories are not prisons. They are anchors. They keep you connected to what matters. They hold you steady in the current. Without them, you might drift too easily, forget too quickly. With them, you remember, you belong, you are tethered to love, to loss, to meaning. And one day, when your own story fades into the larger current, the stones you carried will not vanish. They will sink into the riverbed, joining the countless others, shaping the flow for those who come after. Your heaviness becomes part of the song of the world. It is remembered not in pain, but in presence. Tonight, as you rest, do not fear the heavy memories. Let them sit beside you. Let them remind you that you lived, that you loved, that you risked, that you cared. The wait is not punishment. It is evidence. It is testimony. It is your proof of being. Close your eyes now. Let the river carry both you and your stones. Let the heaviness sink into calmness. Let the current move gently, whispering that nothing is wasted, nothing forgotten, nothing without meaning. You are whole. You are safe. You are carried, stone and water together. Close your eyes once more. Feel the breath moving softly through you. Tonight, we walk further into the endless corridor of memory. We have seen its golden threads and its heavy stones, but now we step into a gentler chamber, the one filled with radiance, where memory is not burden, but blessing. Not all recollections ache. Some return like sunlight through a window, warm, effortless, reminding you of sweetness that never truly faded. These are the golden threads of memory. They weave through your being, binding sorrow with joy, binding the ordinary with the eternal. Think of a laugh that once echoed in a room. You may no longer hear the voice every day, but the sound still glows in your chest when you remember. Think of a morning when light touched the floor, so simple, so ordinary, yet in recollection, it shines brighter than years of forgettable hours. These are golden threads. They shimmer quietly, reminding you that beauty was here and is here still. Imagine a tapestry stretched across a loom, dark fibers of grief, rough strands of loss, heavy cords of regret. But woven among them are threads of gold, thin yet unbreakable, catching light no matter how dim the room. This is how memory lives inside you. It is never only shadow. Always somewhere there is gold. Golden threads do not need to be grand. They are often small, even invisible, until years have passed. A hand that reached for yours. A shared glance across a quiet room. A word of kindness spoken when you needed it most. At the time, you may not have noticed, but memory noticed. It wove the moment into your being, so that one day you would find it shining there, reminding you that you were loved. Pause and breathe. Think of one such thread in your own life. Perhaps it is not sharp, not detailed, but soft. Perhaps it is only a sense, a feeling of being safe, of being seen, of being held. That is enough. The thread glimmers, even if you cannot name its exact color. Science tells us that positive memories release warmth in the body. When you recall joy, the brain fires as if you are living it again. The heart slows, the breath deepens. Your body believes in memory. It does not treat it as illusion. It treats it as presence. This is why a single golden thread can comfort you decades after the moment itself has passed. Imagine holding a cup of tea. Steam rises, fragrant and soft. You sip, and the taste carries you back to a kitchen long ago, to laughter at a table, to hands passing cups across wood. The tea is not only tea, it is thread. It ties you to warmth, to family, to belonging. And even if those faces are gone, the thread holds. Golden threads are generous. They multiply when shared. Tell someone a memory of love, and the glow spreads into them. Share a story of kindness, and the light of that moment flickers alive once more, not only in you, but in the listener too. In this way, memory becomes gift. It is not kept, but passed, woven from one heart to another. Imagine walking at night beneath the stars. Above you are points of light, each carrying stories billions of years old. Some stars are long dead, yet their light still shines. This is the nature of golden memory. Even when the moment is gone, its glow remains, traveling across time, reaching you now, reminding you that beauty cannot be destroyed. There is tenderness in collecting golden threads. You may not know it as it happens, but years later, you realize that the most luminous memories were not grand occasions. They were small gestures, ordinary hours, moments of stillness that became eternal simply because they touched you deeply. Think of a time someone smiled at you unexpectedly, a stranger, a friend, a child. That smile became a thread. Think of the way sunlight once fell through leaves, flickering on your skin. That light became thread. Think of laughter that rang so freely you forgot every worry for a breathless instant. That sound became thread. None of them are gone. They are stitched quietly into who you are. Pause. Breathe. Let one such thread rise now. Feel it shimmer inside you. Notice how your body responds. Your shoulders soften, your heart eases, your breath grows deeper. This is the gift of golden memory. It heals in the present what was planted in the past. Even sorrow carries threads of gold. A farewell may ache, but within it was love so real that even in loss it still glows. A silence may hurt, but within it was presence once cherished, still remembered. Golden threads do not deny pain, they shine through it. They teach you that beauty and sorrow are not opposites, but companions. Imagine a great weaving stretched across the sky. Each person is a strand, each life is a color, and running through the entire tapestry are golden lines of memory, binding everything together, catching starlight, making the whole endless fabric shimmer. This is not poetry alone, it is truth, for what else is civilization but memory carried forward? What else is humanity but shared threads woven across time? Children inherit golden memories they did not live, stories told, songs sung, traditions kept. Each becomes threads, just tying them to generations unseen. And one day, they will weave new ones, passing them forward. In this way, memory is not only personal, it is collective. It belongs to all. Consider how your own golden threads touch others. A word of encouragement you spoke years ago may still live in someone's heart. A kindness you thought small may be the thread another holds when all else feels dark. You do not always know which gestures endure, but they do endure. The river of memory wastes nothing. Every golden thread is carried forward. Science tells us that memory is strengthened by repetition, but golden threads need no force. They shine on their own because the heart remembers more deeply than the mind. The glow does not dim with time. It only grows softer, gentler, like sunlight at dusk. Tender but eternal. Breathe again. Notice how golden memories live not only in thought, but in your body. The warmth of love, the ease of joy, the calm of safety. They are not gone. They remain woven into your nervous system, your breath, your blood. You carry them always, even when not aware. Imagine a lantern glowing in the dark. It may be small, but it lights the path ahead. Golden threads are like this. They do not remove the night, but they soften it, guide you through it, remind you that even in shadow, there is light. As you rest tonight, let yourself gather golden threads. Do not search too hard. Let them come naturally. A smile, a laugh, a moment of stillness. Let them glow. Let them remind you that your life is not only burden, not only shadow, but woven through with radiance. You are not only the stones you carry, you are also the threads that shine. You are not only the shadows that blur, you are also the light that lingers. Memory is not only weight, it is treasure, it is lantern, it is gold. Close your eyes now. Breathe softly. Let the golden threads hold you. Let them weave around you like a blanket, warm, gentle, unbreakable. Rest in their glow, rest in their truth. You are loved, you are remembered, you are woven with gold. Close your eyes. Let the darkness of the room soften into the darkness of sleep. Tonight, we follow memory not in waking corridors, but in the shifting landscapes of dreams. Dreams are not strangers. They are messengers. They carry fragments of your days, pieces of forgotten years, echoes of moments you did not know you still kept. They rise when the mind loosens its grip, when thought dissolves, when silence deepens. In dream, memory changes shape. It does not return as it was. It becomes symbol, metaphor, a strange theater where faces blur and doors open into impossible rooms. And yet, behind the strangeness, you can feel it, the pulse of recognition. You know this place. You know this voice. You have walked here before. Science tells us that dreaming is the brain's way of weaving. It sorts through the day. It stitches fragments together. It strengthens some memories. It softens others. But beyond science lies mystery. Why does a forgotten childhood street appear years later in a dream? Why does the face of someone gone smile at you in the dark as if they had never left? Perhaps dreams are not only repair, perhaps they are also reunion. Imagine yourself drifting through a dream. The walls are fluid, the sky bends, the air glows with colors that do not exist in waking life. Yet in the midst of this strangeness, you find something familiar: a chair, a window, a photograph on a table. It is not exact, but it is enough. The echo of memory has risen, disguised in dream. Some dreams comfort. You see a loved one who has long been absent. They speak, they laugh, they hold your hand. You wake with tears, but also with warmth. The dream gave you a gift, a thread of presence, a moment borrowed from memory, woven new. Other dreams disturb. You walk through a house that feels wrong, rooms stretching endlessly, corridors narrowing to nothing. You hear voices, but cannot see faces. These too are memories, not of details, but of feelings. Dreams echo emotions more than facts. They return the heaviness of fear, the weight of regret, the silence of loss. The mind paints these with strange symbols so that you may feel them again, so that you may face them in disguise. Pause now, breathe, think of a dream you remember. Notice how it blends truth and invention. Notice how the emotion was real, even if the setting was impossible. This is the work of memory in sleep, to remind you of what your waking mind hides, to whisper in symbols what cannot be said in words. Imagine a library at night. Its shelves stretch endlessly, filled with books too many to read. By day, the library is orderly, quiet, stable, but by night, the books fall open at random. Pages scatter, stories intertwine, characters walk from one book into another. This is dreaming. The library of memory becomes alive, and the echoes of countless volumes blend into a single tapestry of night. Sometimes dreams are doorways to what you have forgotten. You wake and wonder, why did that place appear? Why that face? Why that voice? Why that road I have not thought of in years? The dream has opened a forgotten door. The echo returned not clearly, but enough to remind you nothing is lost. Other times, dreams are rehearsals. The mind imagines what has not yet happened. You dream of a conversation, and when it comes in waking life, it feels familiar. You dream of walking a path, and later your feet follow it with uncanny ease. Perhaps memory is not only backward, perhaps it is forward too, anticipating, preparing, teaching. The ancients believed dreams were messages from the gods. They saw visions as prophecy, symbols as guidance. And though science gives us other explanations, the mystery remains. For what else is a dream but a voice beyond the conscious, a whisper from the deeper self, an echo carried across the dark? Imagine lying beneath a vast sky. Stars shimmer, but in dream they are closer. You reach out, and they fall into your hands. This is how memory feels in dream. Distant things, long gone, suddenly within reach. You hold them again, if only for a moment. Some dreams repeat. They come again and again, as if knocking at your door. A staircase you cannot finish climbing. A room you cannot leave. A face you cannot forget. Repetition is memory insisting. Look here, listen, learn. It is not torment. It is persistence. It is the echo demanding attention. Science tells us that REM sleep is when the brain is most alive, firing, glowing, connecting. It is not rest alone. It is work. The deep work of weaving memory, of echoing what matters. So when you wake from a vivid dream, do not dismiss it. It is not random. It is the song of your mind, singing fragments of who you are, who you have been, who you might become. Pause again, breathe. Think of the dreams that comfort you. Think of the ones that frighten you. Notice how both are threads of the same fabric. Notice how both carry echoes of memory, different in tone, but equal in meaning. Imagine dreams as rivers. Each night you step into one. It carries you through landscapes, both strange and familiar, sometimes gentle, sometimes wild, sometimes terrifying, but always flowing, always carrying you back to shores of waking, leaving traces of what you saw. Dreams are rivers of memory. They gather fragments, they carry them, they return you altered. And when you cannot remember your dreams, still they worked, still they wove. The echoes remain in your body, in your feelings, in your subtle choices. Dreams do not require recall to be real. They are part of you, even when forgotten. The universe dreams too. Galaxies swirl like visions. Stars collapse and are reborn. The cosmos itself seems to close its eyes, rest, and awaken in new forms. Perhaps creation itself is a dream, memory echoed on an infinite scale. And you, in your sleep, are part of that vast dreaming. Tonight, as you drift, trust your dreams. Do not fear them. Do not dismiss them. Let them carry you through echoes you cannot control. Let them bring back what was hidden. Let them show you what still lives within. The echo in dream is memory disguised. It is not gone. It is alive. It is whispering. Close your eyes. Surrender to the dark. Let the echoes rise. Let them sing. You are safe. You are carried. You are remembered, even in dreams. Imagine standing before a mirror. Not a mirror of glass, but a mirror made of time. When you gaze into it, you do not see only your face as it is now. You see the layers, the child who once stared back with wonder, the adolescent with restless eyes, the adult carrying years across the skin. Every reflection is memory. Every image is an echo of who you have been. Memory itself is a mirror. It does not simply record, it reflects. And when it reflects, it changes what you see. It bends, it distorts, yet it always offers a version of truth. Not the truth of facts, but the truth of feeling. Think of the last time you looked at an old photograph. You saw not only the captured moment, but also what you have learned since. The image became more than light on paper. It became mirror. It showed you how far you have traveled, how different you have become, and yet how the thread of yourself has never broken. Mirrors can be kind, showing us beauty we had forgotten. They can also be cruel, reminding us of lines etched by sorrow, of eyes hardened by disappointment. But mirrors never lie completely. They show what is there, even if what is there is not what we wish to see. So too with memory. It reflects not only joy, but also pain, not only strength, but also fragility. Imagine walking through a hall lined with mirrors. Some are clear, others are warped, others cracked. You see yourself 100 ways, some recognizable, some strange. This is how memory surrounds you. Each recollection is a reflection, each one shaped by the angle of time, by the light of emotion. Science tells us that memory is reconstructive. Each time you recall, you rebuild. The mirror does not preserve a fixed image. It recreates it in the moment, adding, erasing, coloring with the tones of the present. So when you look into memory, you are not only seeing the past, you are seeing yourself as you are now, gazing backward. There is power in this. It means you can learn from your own reflection. You can return to a moment and see it differently, with more compassion, with deeper understanding. The mirror shows you not only what was, but also who you have become. Think of a difficult memory, one that once felt unbearable. At the time, the reflection was harsh, sharp as glass. But years later, you may look again, and the mirror has softened. The same event is now filtered through wisdom, through growth, through tenderness you did not yet possess. The mirror has changed, not because the past has changed, but because you have. Pause for a moment. Imagine gazing into such a mirror now. What would you see? The sorrow of yesterday, or the strength that sorrow gave you? The mistake that once defined you, or the lesson that mistake carved into your soul? The mirror reflects both, but you choose which reflection to hold. Mirrors are not always external. The eyes of others become mirrors too. A friend's smile reflecting your worth, a lover's gaze reflecting your beauty, a stranger's anger reflecting your shadow. Through them, you see versions of yourself you might never have recognized alone. Memory holds these reflections as well, collecting them, replaying them, teaching you who you are through the mirrors of others. Imagine water as mirror. A still lake shows you clearly. A rippling stream distorts your face. Both are true reflections, but each tells a different story. So too with memory. Sometimes calm, sometimes rippled by emotion, sometimes dark with storm. Each reflection holds a piece of you, even if incomplete. The universe itself is filled with mirrors. The moon reflects the sun. Galaxies reflect light across unimaginable distances. Even time acts as mirror, bending light so that you see stars not as they are now, but as they once were. In every reflection, there is memory. In every glimmer, a story carried forward. There is danger in mirrors too. We may become trapped, staring only at our own reflection, replaying memories until they bind us. But mirrors are not meant to be prisons. They are meant to be windows, to show us, to teach us, then to let us walk forward. A reflection is only a moment. It is not the whole river. Think of a mirror held to sunlight. It does not keep the light. It only reflects it for an instant. So too with memory. It cannot hold the past. It can only let it shine for a moment in the present before dissolving again. Pause now. Breathe. Think of a mirror within you. See the reflection of someone you once were. Do not judge them. Do not condemn them. Simply look. See their innocence, their confusion, their hope. They are not gone. They are still part of you, waiting to be acknowledged, waiting to be loved. Sometimes we resist mirrors. We turn away from reflection. We avoid photographs, avoid memories, avoid facing who we were. But what we avoid does not vanish. The mirror waits patiently. It does not force itself. It simply stands, ready to reflect when you are ready to look. And when you finally gaze again, you may find something surprising: compassion. The reflection you feared becomes gentle. The memory you avoided becomes teacher. You realize that you do not need to reject who you were. You need only embrace them, for they led you here. Imagine now that every memory in your life is a shard of mirror. Some small, some large, some smooth, some broken. If you gather them all, if you place them side by side, they form a mosaic. Not a perfect picture, but a shining one. Together, the fragments reflect your whole being. This is the gift of memory, to let you see yourself again and again from angles you would never find alone, to remind you that you are not a single face, but 1,000 reflections, not a single moment, but an endless pattern of mirrors, glimpses, echoes. Tonight, let yourself rest in this truth. You are more than one reflection. You are more than one memory. You are the mirror itself, endlessly reflecting, endlessly reshaping, endlessly alive. And when the mirror of memory grows dim, when forgetting clouds the glass, still something remains. For the light that once shone on you is never erased. It has entered the fabric of your being. Even when the reflection is gone, you carry its glow. So rest now. Let the mirrors settle. Let the reflections soften. You do not need to stare. You do not need to seek. The mirror of memory is already within you, shining, waiting, endlessly reflecting who you are. Imagine standing at the edge of an endless sea. The water stretches beyond sight, waves rising and falling in rhythms older than memory itself. And in each wave, in each shifting current, there are faces. Some clear, some blurred, some already fading into foam. This is the ocean of memory, an ocean of faces that have passed through your life, each leaving their imprint upon you. From the moment you opened your eyes as a child, faces have been arriving. a mother bending close, a father's shadow in the doorway, a friend's grin on a summer day, a stranger's glance that lingered for only an instant. Each face is stored, not always in detail, but in feeling. The warmth of eyes that looked at you with love, the chill of eyes that turned away, the mystery of eyes you never met again. Memory does not keep all faces equally. Some remain vivid. You could draw them in the dark. Others blur, their features dissolving until only a suggestion remains. But even blurred, they live within you, shaping the way you look at others, shaping the way you see yourself. Imagine the ocean at dusk. The waves shimmer, but you cannot count them. So too with faces. Thousands, tens of thousands, passing through your life. The cashier at the store, the teacher in the classroom, the traveler who sat beside you for a single ride. You do not remember them all, but somewhere in the hidden folds of the mind, they remain, a vast oceans of glances, echoes, encounters. Science tells us that the human brain is remarkably skilled at faces. Even after years, you may recognize someone you met only once. Your eyes scan features, patterns, shadows, and something deep inside whispers, "I have seen you before." This is the ocean speaking. This is memory's tide, bringing a face back to the surface after years beneath. Some faces never leave. The face of someone you loved, the face of someone you lost. They rise again and again, sometimes gentle, sometimes sharp, sometimes when you least expect it. You may wake from a dream, their image still warm against your mind. You may walk through a crowd, and for a heartbeat you see them there, not truly, but in memory's ocean, they are always present. Pause, breathe. Think of the faces you carry most clearly. Notice how they make you feel. Some bring calm, some bring ache, some bring longing. Memory is not only about the face itself, but the story tied to it. You do not remember eyes without remembering how they looked at you. You do not recall a smile without recalling how it made you feel. Imagine the ocean under moonlight. Each wave reflects a different shimmer. So too with memory. Each face reflects a different part of you. The friend who encouraged you, the rival who challenged you, the stranger who frightened you, the beloved who healed you. Together they form an ocean, and you are shaped by every tide. Not every face remains gentle. Some haunt you. They return in memory with heaviness. The face of someone you hurt. The face of someone who hurt you. These are storm waves in the ocean. They crash suddenly, leaving you unsettled. But even storm waves belong. They are part of the sea. They remind you of the depth of connection, even when painful. Other faces comfort endlessly. The ones who held you when you were weak. The ones who laughed with you until your chest ached. The ones who looked at you as if you mattered beyond measure. These are calm tides, returning again and again to soothe you. Even when the people are gone, their faces rise, gentle waves against your soul. Science tells us that memory fades, but emotion strengthens it. Faces tied to deep feeling remain longest. Love, fear, awe, grief. These carve faces into you. They become part of your inner ocean, always moving, always present, even when blurred. Pause again. Think of a face you have not seen in years. Perhaps you cannot recall the exact features, but you remember the light in the eyes. You remember the way the mouth curved. You remember how you felt when you were seen. That is memory's gift. It does not keep every detail, but it keeps the essence. And the essence is enough. Imagine walking along the shore. The waves carry shells, stones, driftwood. You cannot hold them all, but you pick up a few, keep them close, carry them in your pocket. So it is with faces. You cannot carry everyone, but you carry those that matter most, those that shaped you, those that still glow. The universe is also an ocean of faces. Every star is a face of light. Every planet turns its gaze toward the sun. Every galaxy reflects its brilliance outward. The cosmos remembers, just as you do, in waves, in tides, in echoes across endless distance. There is wonder in knowing you live in such an ocean. You are not isolated. You are surrounded by countless presences, seen and unseen. Every encounter leaves a trace. Every glance leaves a ripple. You are both shaped by faces and shaping others through your own. Pause now. Imagine your own face as part of someone else's ocean. Perhaps you are already forgotten. Perhaps you are still vivid. But somewhere, someone carries your image. When they close their eyes, you rise like a wave. You are part of their tide, their memory, their story. This is why faces matter. They are more than flesh and bone. They are mirrors, messages, currents of connection. To see a face is to be touched by a life. To remember a face is to hold a fragment of the infinite ocean. As you rest tonight, let the ocean of faces surround you. Do not cling, do not resist. Let them rise and fall as waves. The loved, the lost, the forgotten, the present. They are all part of you. They are all reflected in the endless tide. And when morning comes, when you open your eyes to new faces, know that you are adding to the ocean. Another glance, another smile, another thread of connection woven into eternity. The sea grows, the waves multiply, and you continue to drift in its embrace. Rest now. The ocean remembers, and so do you. The air carries secrets. You breathe, and without knowing, you take in entire histories. The scent of rain on dry earth, the sharpness of smoke, the sweetness of bread, the salt of the sea. Each aroma is more than sensation. It is memory returning, subtle, sudden, unstoppable. Smell is the most ancient sense. Long before words, long before reason, creatures learned the language of scent. And even now, it bypasses thought, rushing straight into memory. A single fragrance can carry you decades back, can restore an entire moment more vividly than sight or sound ever could. Imagine walking through a street at dusk. Shadows stretch, voices murmur, but it is the smell of roasting food that lifts you instantly into childhood. You are standing in a kitchen again. The light is warm. A hand stirs a pot. Laughter drifts across the room. The present dissolves into the scent. Yesterday has returned. These are the scents of memory. They arrive uninvited. They are doors flung open without warning. One breath and you are elsewhere. One inhale and time bends. It is not imagination. It is the brain itself, wired so that smell and memory are inseparable, bound in the same corridors of being. Pause. Breathe now. Notice the faint sense around you. Perhaps the air is plain. Perhaps it holds whispers. Wood, dust, soap, skin. Each of these is tied to memory, whether you notice or not. Each will rise again someday, and when it does, you will travel. Some sense comfort endlessly. The smell of clean sheets, reminding you of safety. The smell of pine, reminding you of forests walked long ago. The smell of perfume, reminding you of someone once close, someone whose presence lingers long after their footsteps are gone. These are gentle winds, blowing you back into moments of belonging. Other scents wound, the smell of hospitals, the sharpness of antiseptic, the metallic tang of blood. These carry you to times of pain, of fear, of loss. You may wish to escape them, but they arrive unbidden, reminding you of what you endured. Even these are part of memory's language. Even these teach you who you are. Imagine walking into an old house. The walls hold decades of scent, wood warmed by sun, pages of books yellowing, linen stored in closets untouched. Each inhale is an archive. Each step is a return. You feel the presence of those who lived here, not through sight, not through sound, but through air itself. The house breathes its history into you. Science tells us that the olfactory bulb connects directly to the limbic system, the seat of memory and emotion. Other senses pass through filters, but smell goes straight to the heart of recollection. That is why a single whiff can unravel years, can resurrect a forgotten hour with startling clarity. It is the most intimate of time machines, hidden in every breath. Pause again. Think of a scent that carries you. Perhaps it is the ocean, salt and spray. Perhaps it is smoke from a fire, reminding you of nights under stars. Perhaps it is the faint perfume of someone you loved. Notice how even now the memory stirs. You are not imagining. You are traveling. The universe itself has scents. The air of space smells faintly of metal and burning. Stars leave traces of their chemistry in starlight. Planets carry the perfume of their atmosphere: sulfur, methane, oxygen, salt. The cosmos breathes, and in its breath are memories of creation. So too with you. Your every breath is history. You inhale the echoes of forests long vanished, of oceans long retreated, of fires long burned out. The air itself remembers. There is poetry in this, that you are never separate from yesterday. Every inhalation is communion. Every breath is a conversation with the past. You are not only living in the present, you are inhaling eternity, taking into yourself fragments of all that has been. Some scents vanish quickly, the sweetness of a flower fading with dusk, the warmth of bread disappearing as it cools. But even when gone, they remain inside you. You carry them quietly, waiting for the day they will rise again. Memory is stored in molecules, in traces, in whispers you cannot see. Imagine the scent of rain returning suddenly. You are not only in this storm, you are in every storm you have ever known. The scent binds them all together, making time collapse, making you infinite. This is the gift of memory's fragrance. It is not linear. It is a circle, a tide, an echo. There is tenderness in remembering through scent. You cannot force it. You cannot summon it at will. It arrives as gift. It asks only that you notice. And when you do, you realize you are richer than you thought. Your life is woven not only of sights and sounds, but of fragrances carried in silence. Pause once more. Breathe deeply. Let a scent of your own past rise. Do not analyze it. Do not hold it too tightly. Simply let it be. It is enough. The memory will do its work, gently, without demand. As you rest tonight, trust the sense around you. Even the plain air is filled with memory. Even the stillness carries echoes. You are inhaling the past and exhaling yourself into the future. The circle is complete. The air remembers, and so do you. The river remembers. Even when its surface looks calm, even when the waves pass without leaving a trace, the water carries everything it has touched. Every pebble that has fallen, every leaf that has drifted, every drop of rain that has joined, none of it is lost. It flows onward, becoming part of the current, woven into the memory of the river. So too does time remember. Every laugh, every tear, every breath you have ever taken has been carried forward. You may forget, but time does not. It holds everything in its current, folding it into the great stream of existence. Imagine standing by the water. The surface is smooth, but beneath it are countless currents. Some fast, some slow, all moving together. This is memory on a grand scale. Not only your memory, but the memory of all who came before. Think of a moment long ago. Perhaps you have forgotten the details, the colors, the sounds, the exact words spoken, but the moment remains. It shaped you, even if you no longer recall how. It entered the current, and the current carried it, mixing it with all the other days and nights that followed. The river remembers what you cannot. Memory is not only in the mind, it lives in the body. It flows in the rhythm of your heart, in the patterns of your breath. Your hands know motions taught by years of repetition. Your eyes recognize faces, even before your thoughts do. The river of your being carries memories deeper than words, and the earth remembers too. The soil holds the bones of ancestors. The air carries whispers of ancient forests. The stones beneath your feet once felt the fire of creation. Nothing is ever truly erased. It only changes form, moving from one state to another, like water shifting from rain to river to sea. Imagine placing your hand in a stream. You may feel only the cool touch of water, but within that touch is the memory of mountains, the story of clouds, the weight of countless journeys. The river remembers where it has been. It carries the sky, the earth, the hidden roots of trees. So too does time carry you. Sometimes memories rise to the surface suddenly, like driftwood lifted by a wave. A scent, a sound, a fleeting image, and you are transported back. You may not even understand why, but the river remembers, and for a moment it lets you glimpse what still flows within it. Not all memories are gentle. Some are heavy, dark, painful. The river carries them too, because it does not choose. It does not judge what enters its current. It holds everything patiently until time itself transforms them. What was once sharp may be softened. What was once unbearable may over years be carried further downstream, where it no longer hurts so deeply. There is a strange comfort in this. You do not need to hold everything tightly. The river remembers for you. You can release what weighs you down and know that it is not gone. It is simply carried. It becomes part of something larger than yourself. Imagine standing on a bridge, watching the river flow beneath you. The surface looks simple, but beneath, countless stories move together. Leaves, stones, fish, reflections, all part of the current, all carried onward. This is memory in its truest form, not a single line, but a weaving of countless threads into one endless stream. Even the stars, remember? Light is memory traveling across the cosmos. When you see a star, you are seeing a memory of its past, a story written in photons, crossing unimaginable distances to reach you. The universe itself is a river of memory, every particle carrying echoes of where it has been. Pause. Breathe. Think of someone you once loved, someone no longer here. Though their voice is silent, their memory flows in you. They shaped your current. They left pebbles, ripples, shadows, all of which remain. The river remembers them through you, and you carry them forward. Perhaps this is why we long to be remembered, not for fame, not for glory, but for the reassurance that our ripple will not vanish. We want to know that when we drop into the current, the river will carry us forward. And it does. Every act of kindness, every word spoken, every silent gesture becomes part of the flow. The river remembers, even when others forget. Consider the collective memory of humanity. Stories passed down through generations, songs sung across centuries, stone carvings that outlast the hands that made them. These are the riverbanks of our species, the places where the current leaves its marks. Even when individuals vanish, the stream carries the shape of their lives forward. You are part of that river, whether you know it or not. Imagine again that you are standing at the water's edge. You pick up a stone and drop it into the current. The ripples expand, touching other ripples, merging, spreading outward. This is every choice you make, every presence you offer. It enters the flow, and the river remembers. There is humility in knowing this. Your life is both small and infinite. Small because you are one drop. Infinite because the drop never disappears. It joins, it merges, it continues. The river wastes nothing. It carries all. Science tells us that DNA holds memory. It carries patterns from ancestors, codes written across generations. You are not only yourself, you are the river of lives before you. Their choices shaped your being. Their survival flows in your blood. Even if you do not remember their names, the river does. Your body is living memory, and when your life ends, your ripple does not vanish. It enters the greater flow. It touches those who come after, whether in blood, in story, or in love. The river remembers you, even when names fade, even when faces blur. So tonight, let yourself rest in the truth of the river. You do not need to hold every memory. You do not need to fear forgetting. The current carries it all. The river remembers, always. There are sounds that vanish the moment they are heard. A bird's cry fading into the wind. A door closing in the distance. A conversation dissolving into silence. But there are other sounds, songs, that never truly fade. They live within us, echoing long after the last note is gone, carried by memory, woven into the fabric of our being. Music is memory in motion. Each melody is a thread, each rhythm a pulse, each lyric a story carried forward. You may forget many things, but the song you loved as a child, the lullaby sung to you before sleep, the anthem that carried you through heartbreak, these remain. They rise unbidden, and when they do, you are transported. Imagine walking in a crowded street. Noise swirls, voices blur, but then a song drifts from a window. You freeze, the air dissolves, and suddenly you are somewhere else. Back in a room, back in an embrace, back in a time you thought was lost. The song has carried you across years in a single breath. Science tells us that music activates more of the brain than any other sound. It weaves together memory, emotion, movement. That is why a melody can unlock what words cannot. Patients who cannot speak may still sing. Those who cannot recall names may still hum tunes. Music is deeper than thought. It is memory's purest form. Pause now. Think of a song that belongs to you. Perhaps it is simple. Perhaps it is vast. Notice how even the thought of it stirs your body. The rhythm rises in your chest. The melody glows behind your eyes. This is the song that never faded. This is memory singing itself alive. Some songs belong to joy. They remind you of dancing with friends, of long nights that felt endless, of sunlight spilling across open fields. When they return, you laugh again. You breathe easier. You remember that you once felt free. Other songs belong to sorrow. They remind you of love lost, of goodbyes too heavy to carry, of nights when you wept in silence. And yet even these songs heal. They let you feel what you could not speak. They give voice to your ache, and in their melody, you are less alone. Imagine the first music of the world, the wind moving through trees, the water striking stone, the heart beating inside a chest. These were the earliest songs, and memory has carried them forward. You still feel calm in the rustle of leaves, still feel wonder in the crash of waves, still feel belonging in the rhythm of a drum, because these are echoes older than language, older than history. The universe itself is filled with music. Planets hum as they turn. Stars vibrate as they burn. Galaxies spin with hidden harmonies. The cosmos is not silent, it sings. And when you listen to music, perhaps you are remembering that larger song, the one that began before you were born, the one that will continue long after. There is tenderness in how songs linger. You may not have heard a melody for decades, but when it plays, you remember every word. The music bypasses forgetting. It goes straight to memory's core. Even those with fading minds, lost to illness, find themselves alive again when music touches them. They sing, they smile, they remember. Pause again. Hum softly to yourself. Any tune, notice how your body responds. The vibration in your chest, the calm in your breath, the familiarity of rhythm. Even this small act is memory awakening, reminding you that sound has always been part of who you are. Some songs belong not to you alone, but to many. An anthem sung by a people, a hymn sung in a gathering, a lullaby shared across generations. These are collective memories, threads that tie one heart to another. When voices rise together, they become one, and memory is multiplied, woven into the shared fabric of humanity. Imagine again that crowded street. Now everyone is singing the same song. Strangers become companions. Differences fade. For a moment, all are united in melody. This is the power of songs that never fade. They remind us that we belong not only to ourselves, but to each other. Not every song is sweet. Some carry the weight of war, of protest, of grief. Yet even these are vital. They hold memory in sound, ensuring that what must not be forgotten continues to echo. A song of sorrow can last longer than monuments. A song of truth can outlive empires. There is mystery in why certain songs remain. You may forget entire years, but a single melody endures. Perhaps it is because music is woven with emotion, and emotion is memory's strongest glue. When you feel deeply, you remember. When you sing with your whole being, the song never leaves. Pause once more. Think of the first song you ever loved. Can you hear it now, faint in the back of your mind? Notice how it has traveled with you through every season of your life. It is not only melody, it is thread, it is anchor, it is you. As you rest tonight, trust the songs that return. Do not dismiss them. They are not accidents. They are messages from memory, reminders of who you were and who you still are. Even when silence surrounds you, you are not without song. The rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the hum of your thoughts, these are music too. These are songs that never fade. And when your life joins the greater river, your songs will not vanish. They will rise in the voices of others. They will echo in the memories of those you touched. They will become part of the endless harmony. Rest now. Let the music within you soften. Let it carry you like a lullaby. Let it remind you that nothing beautiful is ever lost. Every note, every voice, every song, the river remembers, and so do you. There is a place in memory that feels like a garden, not filled with blossoms of joy alone, but with flowers that bloom from absence, with leaves watered by tears, with soil darkened by grief. This is the garden of loss. Every life tends to it, whether knowingly or not. Loss is part of living. Every goodbye, every departure, every ending that arrived before we were ready plants a seed in this garden. And though the seed is sorrow, what grows is not only pain, it is tenderness, a reminder of how much we cared, how deeply we loved, how fully we belonged. Imagine walking through this garden at dusk. The air is quiet, the paths winding. You see flowers unlike any others. Some are pale, their petals fragile as paper. Others are dark, rich with colors that do not exist in daylight. Each one is a memory of something lost. You bend to touch them, and though they sting, they also soothe. They hurt because they mattered. They matter still. The garden of loss is not barren. It is alive. It hums with whispers of voices long gone, with laughter that once filled rooms, with moments too beautiful to last forever. You cannot live without losing, and you cannot lose without remembering. Pause. Think of someone or something you have lost. Notice how memory carries them still. Perhaps not every detail, perhaps not every word, but the feeling remains. The garden holds it for you. You do not need to carry it alone. Science tells us grief reshapes the brain. Neural pathways adjust. The absence of presence becomes its own kind of presence. We adapt, but we never erase. Loss rewires us, and memory tends the garden. Watering, pruning, allowing what once was to live differently, not gone, but transformed. Some losses are sharp. They cut like broken glass. The sudden silence of a voice that was always there, the empty space in a chair, the unreturned call. These are new plants in the garden, thorned and raw. At first, you cannot go near them, but over time, the thorns soften, the sharpness dulls. What remains is not only wound, but remembrance. Other losses are slow, the gradual fading of someone you love, the long goodbye of distance, of time, of change. These losses plant vines. They creep quietly, wrapping around your days. They do not cut suddenly, but they entwine you, reminding you with every step that life is impermanent. Yet even in this garden, beauty exists. The flower of grief is also the flower of love. If you had not loved, you would not feel the loss. If you had not cared, you would not ache. The ache itself is proof of connection. It is that echo of love refusing to vanish. Imagine kneeling in this garden. You place your hands in the soil. It is damp, rich, alive. This is the soil of memory, where sorrow and tenderness mingle. From it grows compassion. From it grows wisdom. From it grows a deeper capacity to love, because you know how fragile everything is. Pause again. Breathe. Think of how loss has shaped you. The person you are now carries the imprint of what you no longer have. You walk differently. You see differently. You love differently because of the garden you tend within. Loss does not destroy you. It changes your shape. It deepens your roots. The earth itself remembers loss. Forests burn, but from ash new growth rises. Rivers dry, but carve valleys that hold future rains. Stars die, but their dust becomes the seed of new worlds. The universe is filled with gardens of loss, and yet it is not barren. It is endlessly creative, endlessly reborn. So too with you. Your garden of loss is not the end. It is the beginning of new tenderness. It teaches you to hold moments more gently. It teaches you to look at faces with gratitude. It teaches you to cherish the present, knowing it will one day be memory. There is no shame in returning to this garden. You may walk its paths often. Some days you will weep among its flowers. Other days you will smile at their strange beauty. Both are natural. Both are necessary. The garden is not a prison. It is part of your home. Imagine lighting a lantern and walking through at night. The blossoms glow softly, illuminated from within. Each one whispers, "I was loved. I mattered. I remain." You walk slowly, and though your chest aches, your heart also warms, because you realize that loss has not erased love. It has only transformed it. Science calls this continuing bonds. Those we lose remain with us, not as ghosts, not as illusions, but as threads woven into our daily lives. A phrase we repeat, a gesture we mimic, a story we pass on. These are blossoms in the garden of loss. They bloom quietly, reminding us that love does not end. Pause once more. Think of someone you miss. Notice how they live in you still, in your words, in your choices, in your breath. You are the garden. You are the soil in which their memory grows. There is a softness in accepting this. You cannot keep everything. You cannot hold forever, but you can tend the garden. You can honor what has been planted. You can let sorrow and beauty live side by side. And one day, when you yourself become memory, you too will bloom in someone else's garden of loss. You will be carried forward not as absence, but as tenderness, not as ending, but as echo. Rest now, Walk gently among your blossoms. Let them comfort you. Let them remind you of love. Let them teach you the sacred truth that nothing is wasted, that every loss is also a gift, that memory holds everything tenderly, like a garden in eternal dusk. Memory feels like truth. When you close your eyes and recall, it seems as though you are opening a window into the past, watching events unfold exactly as they were. But memory is not a window, it is a painting. And every time you return to it, you repaint it, adding strokes, erasing details, coloring it with the brush of who you are now. This is why memory lies, not maliciously, not cruelly, but inevitably. It bends because you bend. It changes because you change. And yet, even in its distortion, it holds truth, not the truth of facts, but the truth of feeling. Imagine a childhood room. You remember the walls wide and tall, the bed enormous, the window vast. But when you return as an adult, the room is small, almost fragile. The walls are close, the window ordinary. Your memory lied, but it did so honestly, reflecting how it felt then, not how it was. Science tells us that memory is reconstructive. When you recall, neurons fire to rebuild the image, but they do not rebuild perfectly. They pull fragments from other places. They fill gaps with guesses. They weave emotion into detail. What you remember is not the event, but the last time you remembered it. Each recollection is a copy of a copy, changing subtly with each return. Pause. Think of a story you have told many times. Notice how it has shifted. Certain moments grow sharper, others fade. Perhaps you added details without knowing. Perhaps you softened others. This is memory lying, but also memory living. For stories are not meant to be frozen. They are meant to breathe. There are times when memory lies painfully. Two people share the same moment, yet remember it differently. One recalls laughter, the other recalls silence. One remembers kindness, the other remembers neglect. Both are certain, both are sincere, but memory is not the same for all. It is shaped by perception, by feeling, by the lens through which we looked. Imagine a mirror made of water. Each person gazes into it, but the ripples are different depending on where they stand. The reflection is true, but not the same. So too with memory. Your truth may not match another's, yet both are honest echoes of experience. There is danger in trusting memory too blindly. We may believe we recall perfectly, and in doing so, we may wound. We may accuse, we may cling, we may insist on what never truly was. This is the fragility of memory. It convinces us of its certainty, even as it bends beneath our own imagination. But there is also beauty in this. If memory were rigid, it would trap us. It would freeze us in pain. Its lies, its distortions, are sometimes mercy. They soften the sharpness of grief. They blur the edges of trauma. They let us reshape what would otherwise destroy us. Pause again. Think of a painful memory. Notice how it has changed over time. At first, it may have burned like fire. Now it may ache like embers. The details are unclear. The edges are softened. This is memory lying. But in lying, it is also healing. Science calls this reconsolidation. Every time you recall, the memory becomes flexible, open to change. If you revisit it with new understanding, with new compassion, you can reshape it. The lie becomes a path to truth. The distortion becomes a form of growth. Imagine your memories as a gallery of paintings, some vivid, others faded, some altered so many times they hardly resemble the original. Yet each one matters. Each one tells not only of what happened, but of who you were when you remembered it. The gallery is not history. It is autobiography, living, shifting, always incomplete. There are times when memory lies with cruelty. False memories emerge, convincing us of things that never happened. A dream mistaken for fact. A story repeated until it feels like our own. The mind can be tricked, and the past can be rewritten without our consent. This is unsettling. It reminds us that we are not perfect keepers of truth, and yet, even here, there is meaning. For the false memory still reveals something, a desire, a fear, a longing. It may not be fact, but it is truth of another kind. It shows us the landscapes of our inner world, what we wished for, what we dreaded, what we could not admit in daylight. Pause once more. Think of a memory you are not sure of. Did it happen exactly that way? Perhaps not. But notice what it reveals about you. Notice the emotion that clings to it. That is the truth, even if the details lie. The universe itself plays with memory. Light bends as it travels, distorting what we see. Stars shimmer differently depending on where we stand. The cosmos lies in the details, yet the essence is true. There is light, there is distance, there is memory carried across the void. So too with you. Your memory may lie about the color of the sky, the words spoken, the exact hour, but it never lies about the feeling. The feeling is the anchor. The emotion is the truth beneath the distortion. As you rest tonight, do not fear memory's lies. Do not cling to the illusion of perfect recall. Instead, accept memory as a storyteller. It is not a judge, not a historian, but a poet. It bends the facts, but it preserves the essence. It tells you not only what was, but what it meant. Rest now in this freedom. You do not need to remember perfectly. You need only remember deeply. The details may fade or change, but the truth of your heart endures. Memory lies, and in lying, it reveals a greater honesty, the honesty of who you are and who you are becoming. Memory is rarely solitary. Even when you sit alone, recalling quietly, you carry echoes that belong not only to you, but to those who were there with you. Memories are shared. They are bridges stretched between hearts, threads woven across time and space, connecting you to others in ways seen and unseen. Think of a family gathered around a table. Each person remembers differently. One recalls the taste of the food, another the warmth of laughter, another the flicker of candlelight. Individually, these recollections are fragments. Together, they form a whole. The memory belongs to everyone, woven of many strands, yet carried as one. Shared memory is a kind of mirror. When someone else recalls what you forgot, you see yourself anew. When someone tells a story of you that you cannot remember, you realize you are larger than your own mind. You exist not only in your memories, but in theirs. You are reflected in countless recollections, shaped by countless echoes. Pause. Breathe. Think of a story someone else told about you. Notice how it felt to hear yourself through their voice. Perhaps you were surprised. Perhaps you disagreed. But still, you were seen. Still, you were remembered. This is the power of shared memory. It keeps you alive in ways you cannot control. Communities carry memory too. Songs sung together, rituals repeated, traditions preserved. These are not stored in a single mind. They are passed hand to hand, voice to voice, generation to generation. Even when no one remembers every detail, the whole is carried. The memory belongs to the group, alive because it is shared. Imagine a village fire at night. People gather, telling stories of ancestors, of triumphs, of losses. Each person adds a fragment, and slowly the story becomes more than any one voice. It becomes collective truth. Not perfect, not factual in every detail, but alive. Shared memory is not about accuracy. It is about belonging. Science tells us that memory strengthens when repeated, and repetition is the essence of community. Holidays, ceremonies, celebrations, mourning. These are rehearsals of memory. They keep alive what might otherwise fade. They turn individual recollection into shared ritual, ensuring that the echo continues across time. Pause again. Think of a song everyone knows. When it begins, voices rise together. No single singer carries it alone. The memory is multiplied. The music belongs to all. This is what it means to remember together, to hold a truth that is larger than the self, to keep it alive through unity. Shared memory also carries pain, a community scar, a tragedy lived together. Even those not yet born carry it, inherited through stories, through silence, through the weight of history. The memory is not chosen, it is given. It becomes part of identity. Nations, families, cultures, all carry gardens of shared loss. These are heavy, but they bind people together, reminding them of resilience, of survival. Imagine standing at a monument. You read names etched in stone. You did not know them, yet you feel the weight. This is shared memory reaching you. It does not require personal experience. It asks only for presence or for recognition. Through this, you are woven into a larger fabric. There is tenderness in remembering together. When you laugh with someone about a day you both lived, the bond deepens. When you weep with someone over the same absence, the bond deepens still. Shared memory is intimacy. It says, "You were there with me, you saw what I saw, you carry what I carry." But shared memory is also fragile. Stories shift as they pass. Details fade. Silences change meaning. Two people may share the same moment, but remember it differently. Arguments arise. "No, it was this way." "No, you forgot." Both are certain. Both are sincere. This is the nature of shared memory, a tapestry woven from many threads, never uniform, always shifting. And yet, that shifting is its strength. For even if the details differ, the belonging remains. The memory is not about precision. It is about connection. It is about saying, "We lived this together. We hold it together." Pause once more. Think of someone with whom you share a memory. Picture their face. Notice how your recollection depends on theirs. Notice how their presence shapes what you recall. This is the web of shared memory. You are never remembering alone. The universe itself remembers in this way. Galaxies collide, sharing stars, sharing dust. Planets circle suns, carrying the memory of cosmic origins. Light travels across space, seen by countless eyes, each gaze adding to the collective archive of existence. Nothing is remembered alone. Everything belongs to the great chorus of recollection. As you rest tonight, let yourself feel the presence of shared memory. You are not only yourself, you are carried in the stories of others. You are alive in the echoes of their laughter, in the weight of their grief, in the warmth of their retellings, and they live in you. Every glance, every embrace, every word spoken becomes part of this shared tapestry. Rest gently in this truth. Even if you forget, someone else remembers. Even if they forget, the memory is still carried in the collective, woven into rituals, into songs, into the silent hum of belonging. Nothing is truly lost when it is shared. Close your eyes or leave them open in the quiet. Either way, feel the web of memory around you. Threads stretching outward, connecting you to family, to friends, to strangers you will never meet. The memory is shared. The memory is alive. And in this vast communion, you are never alone. The universe remembers. Even if no voice speaks, even if no mind records, everything that has ever happened leaves a trace. A ripple in gravity, a spark of radiation, a particle drifting across endless space. Nothing is ever truly lost. It only changes form, becoming part of the great archive of existence. Light is memory. When you gaze at the stars, you are not seeing them as they are now, but as they were. Some may already be gone, yet their light still travels, crossing centuries, crossing millennia, reaching your eyes tonight. Every photon is a message, a record of fire that once burned. The universe keeps memory in its beams of light, scattering them across the dark so that no brilliance is wasted. Imagine holding your hand up to the night sky. The light that touches your skin began its journey long before you were born. It passed through storms of dust, through the pull of gravity, through the silence of vacuum, and yet it endured, so that in this moment you could remember something older than yourself. Dust is memory too. Every particle that drifts in the air around you carries a story. The atoms in your breath were forged in ancient stars, explosions so vast they shook the fabric of space. The iron in your blood was once the heart of a sun. The calcium in your bones was once ash of distant fire. You are made of memory. Every cell is an archive of the cosmos. Pause. Breathe deeply. Feel the weight of stardust in your chest. You are not separate from the universe. You are its continuation, its remembering. When you walk, when you speak, when you live, the universe recalls itself through you. Even silence remembers. Sounds never vanish entirely. They become vibrations, dissolving into air, echoing faintly in ways too subtle for the ear, yet written into the weave of reality. The universe is filled with echoes, cosmic background radiation, the faint afterglow of the first fire, still humming billions of years later. It is memory, singing softly in every corner of space. Imagine listening to that ancient song, a hum too quiet for ordinary hearing, yet always present, always surrounding. This is the universe whispering, I remember. I carry every beginning, every birth, every burst of light. Science tells us nothing is truly destroyed. Energy shifts, matter changes, but the essence remains, transformed, carried forward. So too with memory. What you think is gone is only altered, written into new forms, waiting to be recognized again. Pause again. Think of a moment in your own life that feels forgotten. Know that it has not vanished. It exists in the tilt of your voice, in the rhythm of your breath, in the choices you make without knowing why. Your body is a galaxy of memory. You are proof that the universe keeps everything. The earth remembers in layers of stone. Every rock is a page, every fossil a paragraph, every mountain a chapter. To walk across land is to step upon memory billions of years old. The ocean remembers in its salt, gathered from rivers that have flowed since the dawn of time. Even the air remembers, filled with whispers of forests long vanished. Nothing is lost. Everything is recorded, if only you know how to listen. Imagine drifting through space, far from Earth. The silence is vast, but you are surrounded by memory. Stars exploding, planets colliding, galaxies spinning their stories into the void. The universe is not empty. It is an endless library, shelves stretching across infinity, each one filled with echoes of what has been. There is wonder in realizing you are part of this library. You are both reader and page. You carry memory in your atoms, in your thoughts, in your very existence. When you remember, the universe remembers itself through you. And when you forget, still the memory remains in someone else's heart, in the dust of stars, in the flow of time itself. Forgetting is only human. The cosmos does not forget. It carries all. Pause once more. Look inward now. Imagine your memories as constellations, each one a star glowing across the dark. Some bright, some dim, some nearly invisible. Together they form the map of your soul. And just as the sky never erases its stars, you never truly lose what has shaped you. The constellations may shift, but they endure. The universe teaches us that memory is eternal. It may fade from sight, but it is never erased. Every breath, every step, every heartbeat is written into the vast ledger of being. When you are gone, you will not vanish. You will become starlight, dust, echo. You will join the greater memory, woven into eternity. As you rest tonight, let this truth comfort you. You are part of something that never forgets. Every joy, every sorrow, every love is carried forward, transformed but never lost. The universe remembers, and in its remembering, you are immortal. Rest now. Let the stars hold you. Let the dust of ages cradle you. Let the echoes of the first fire sing you to sleep. You are memory. You are starlight. You are forever remembered. An echo never truly ends. It fades, yes. It softens, stretches, dissolves into distance, but somewhere in some hidden corner, the vibration remains. So it is with memory. What you think is gone still hums quietly, woven into the silence that follows. Every life is an echo. Every word spoken is still traveling through the air, expanding, touching, carried further than you will ever know. Even if no ear hears it, the sound existed. It shaped the world. And memory, like echo, never vanishes completely. Imagine standing in a canyon. You call out, and your voice returns again and again until it grows too faint to hear. But faint is not the same as gone. The molecules of air were moved, the stones were touched, the world was altered by your sound. This is memory's eternal echo. It may fade from your awareness, but it remains part of the fabric of existence. Pause. Think of a moment long ago, perhaps childhood, perhaps youth. Notice how you can still feel its vibration. Not exact words, not precise details, but resonance. It hums in you even now, shaping how you see, how you love, how you live. Some echoes are gentle. A lullaby sung years ago still calms you in quiet moments. A laugh shared with someone gone still brightens you unexpectedly. These echoes are gifts. They remind you that beauty is never lost. It travels endlessly, softening but never ceasing. Other echoes are heavy. A harsh word spoken in anger still reverberates inside. A silence that cut too deeply still hums beneath your skin. These are echoes too, unwanted perhaps, but part of the song of your life. They linger because they mattered. They insist because they shaped you. Science tells us the universe itself is filled with echoes. The cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the first fire, still vibrates across space, faint but eternal. It is the universe remembering its own birth, whispering across billions of years, I began, I continue, I remain. So too with you. Your life hums in ways you cannot measure. Every choice, every kindness, every cruelty sends vibrations outward. They echo in others, in hearts you may never see again, in strangers you will never know. You are woven into the echoes of countless lives. Pause again. Imagine someone who once spoke to you, whose words still echo. Perhaps they are alive, perhaps they are gone, yet their voice remains, carried in your memory, carried in your breath. Now imagine your own words echoing in someone else. This is the immortality of memory. This is the eternity of echo. Not every echo is clear. Some distort, bouncing off walls of time, changing shape. But distortion does not mean absence, it means life. For every echo adapts, reshaping itself to the space it enters. So too with memory. It may not return perfectly, but it returns. It always returns. Imagine a stone dropped into a pond. The ripples spread outward, then seem to vanish. But the water has been changed forever. The surface will never be exactly as it was. This is how memory works. Every action, every presence leaves ripples that extend beyond sight. You may not see them, you may not hear them, but they exist. There is comfort in knowing this. You do not need to fear being forgotten, for even if names fade and faces blur, the echo remains. The love you gave, the words you spoke, the silence you shared, all continue, woven into the eternal hum of the world. Pause once more. Think of yourself as echo, your laughter ringing through the years, your touch resonating in someone's memory, your presence vibrating in ways you cannot trace. This is who you are, not a moment, but a resonance, endless in its reach. The universe does not waste echoes. Every vibration, every sound, every burst of light is preserved in some form. Stars may die, but their echoes birth new stars. Voices may fall silent, but their echoes live in those who heard them. You may fade, but your echo continues. As you rest tonight, imagine yourself surrounded by echoes, the voices of those who came before, the songs of the earth, the hum of the stars, all vibrating together, forming the great symphony of existence. You are part of this music. You are both listener and note. You are both echo and origin. Rest gently in this truth. You are not lost. You are not forgotten. You are sound carried endlessly. You are light traveling forever. You are memory's eternal echo. Generations are rivers of memory, each one flowing into the next, carrying fragments of stories, faces, songs, silences. What you remember today is not yours alone. It is part of a chain, stretching backward through centuries and forward into lives not yet born. When you speak, you echo the voices of those who raised you. When you cook a meal, you repeat gestures taught by countless hands. When you hum a tune without thinking, you carry music older than yourself. Shared memory travels invisibly, woven into language, custom, tradition. You are living history, whether you realize it or not. Imagine a grandmother telling a story to a child. The child laughs, wide-eyed, not knowing that the story itself is centuries old. It was told to the grandmother by her own mother, and before that, by someone whose name is now forgotten. But the memory remains alive, reborn each time it is spoken, each time it is heard. Pause. Think of something you learned from family. It may be simple, a recipe, a phrase, a way of folding clothes. It may be profound, a prayer, a belief, a song sung before sleep. Notice how you never created it alone. It came to you carried by others, and now you carry it forward. Science tells us memory is not only mental, it is genetic. Patterns of survival, responses to danger, even traces of trauma can be passed from one generation to the next. Your body remembers what your ancestors endured. You flinch at shadows they once feared. You thrive because they endured storms. You are their continuation. You are their memory in motion. Imagine walking through a forest. Trees rise tall, their roots intertwined. Each tree is separate, yet underground they are connected, sharing water, sharing nutrients, sharing quiet messages. So it is with generations. Each person stands apart, yet all are linked by memory beneath the surface. Shared memory is not always gentle. History carries wounds, wars, losses, injustices. These echoes remain in families, in cultures, in nations. Children inherit grief they did not live. Communities carry scars of events long past. And yet, even in pain, shared memory binds. It whispers, "You are not alone in this. Others endured, and so can you." Pause again. Think of a story from history you never lived, yet feel deeply. Perhaps it fills you with pride. Perhaps it fills you with sorrow. This too is shared memory, carried through books, through songs, through monuments, through silence. Even without direct experience, you carry the echo. There is tenderness in how joy is shared across generations. A wedding toast, a victory celebrated, a festival repeated every year. Even when faces change, the rhythm continues. Laughter echoes down the line, reminding us that life is not only grief, but renewal. Imagine standing in a crowd, voices rising together in song. You may not know the strangers beside you, but you feel the power of unity. That song is memory, connecting thousands at once. It is not only melody, it is belonging. Shared memory gives identity. Without it, we are adrift. With it, we are rooted. It tells us who we are, where we come from, what matters enough to preserve. It is fragile, yet strong. Fragile because stories can be lost. Strong because even a single voice can carry centuries forward. Pause once more. Think of the faces you never knew, ancestors whose names you cannot recall, yet they live in you, in your eyes, in your smile, in the way your hands move. You are their echo, their continuation, their living memory. The universe also holds generational memory. Stars give birth to new stars. Galaxies form from galaxies. Each carries the dust of what came before. The cosmos, too, is ancestral. You are part of a lineage older than Earth, older than the sun, older than time, measured in human years. Your atoms were carried here, handed down across cosmic generations until they became you. There is awe in realizing this. That memory is not only human, it is cosmic, it is eternal. It is written in every form of being. As you rest tonight, feel yourself as part of this chain. You are not an isolated moment. You are a bridge. Behind you stretches an ocean of ancestors. Ahead of you stretch generations yet to come. All are connected through memory. All are threads in the same vast fabric. Rest gently in this truth. You will be remembered not only by thought, but by blood, by breath, by the quiet gestures that ripple forward. The stories you tell, the kindness you offer, the love you give, all of it will be carried. All of it will become memories shared across generations. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. The river flows. The chain endures. The memory is alive. There is an archive greater than any library, greater than any vault, greater than any written record. It has no walls, no shelves, no pages bound in leather or ink. And yet, it holds everything. Every moment, every echo, every thought and breath and silence is written into it. This is the infinite archive. And whether you know it or not, you are part of it. Memory is not only inside you, it stretches outward, woven into others, woven into the earth, woven into the stars. When you recall, you open a door. But when you forget, the archive still remembers. Nothing is erased. It is only stored in places beyond your reach. Imagine standing in a vast hall without end. Columns rise into shadow. Light falls softly, illuminating endless corridors. You walk slowly, and everywhere are doors. Behind each one is a memory. Some are yours, some belong to others, some belong to the world itself. This is the infinite archive. It is never silent. It hums with echoes, a low chorus of everything that has ever been. Pause, breathe, feel yourself in this hall. You are both visitor and book, both reader and page. Your presence is recorded here, just as surely as you are reading it. Every step you take leaves an inscription. Every heartbeat writes a line. Science tells us that information cannot be destroyed. Energy shifts, matter transforms, but nothing truly vanishes. This is not poetry alone. It is physics. The universe itself is an archive. Each photon, each particle, carries memory of where it has been. Every atom inside you has traveled billions of years to arrive here, now. You are made of recorded journeys. You are an anthology of stardust. Imagine dust drifting through sunlight. It looks simple, ordinary, but each grain is ancient. It once belonged to mountains, to oceans, to stars. When you touch it, you touch time. You touch memory. Even the smallest speck is part of the archive. The infinite archive is not static, it is alive. Each memory shifts as it is recalled, each echo bends as it is retold. Stories change, your details blur, but the essence endures. The archive does not seek accuracy, it seeks continuity. It preserves not the fact, but the feeling, not the detail, but the meaning. Pause again. Think of the way stories survive across centuries. Legends told again and again, never the same, always changing. Yet they endure, because what matters is not the precise shape, but the resonance. The archive holds resonance. It holds vibration. It holds the eternal hum of what touched life deeply. Imagine walking deeper into the hall. You open a door. Inside is not a scene, but a vibration, a laugh, a cry, a silence that once mattered. This is how the archive stores, not in paragraphs, but in echoes, not in dates, but in resonance. Shared memories are part of this archive. When people gather, their stories join. When families remember together, their voices weave a larger thread. When cultures preserve traditions, the archive grows richer. Each song sung in chorus is a line written in the infinite book. Each ritual is each dance. Each festival is another page. Even grief is written here. The garden of loss is part of the archive. Every tear is ink. Every farewell a paragraph. The archive does not choose what to keep. It keeps everything. And in keeping, it transforms sorrow into remembrance, absence into presence. Pause once more. Think of something you thought you had lost forever. Perhaps a face, perhaps a word, perhaps a moment. Know that it is not gone. It is written, it is stored. It may not be accessible to you now, but it lives in the archive. And one day, through dream, through scent, through sudden recognition, the door may open again. The infinite archive is not only human. Birds carry memory in migration. Trees carry memory in rings. Oceans carry memory in salt. Mountains carry memory in stone. Everywhere you look, you are surrounded by records. The world remembers. It cannot forget. Imagine listening to the hum of the archive. It is not loud. It is subtle, like the faint ringing you hear in deep silence. A vibration beneath everything. It is the echo of all that has been. It is the chorus of existence itself. Science has glimpsed this in background radiation. The faint afterglow of the first fire still fills the universe. It is older than stars, it's older than galaxies. It is memory woven into the fabric of space. The infinite archive is everywhere. It surrounds you, it carries you, and you too are writing constantly. When you speak, your words ripple outward. When you love, your gestures imprint on another. When you breathe, the air remembers. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is lost. The archive accepts everything. Pause again. Think of how your life has been recorded, not only in your own mind, but in the minds of others, in the bodies of those you touched, in the silence of places you once stood. Even if no one recalls you perfectly, the archive does. It has already written you. You are already part of eternity. There is humility in this truth. You are not the author alone. You are a sentence in a book without end. But there is also comfort, because no sentence is wasted. Every word belongs. Every line matters. Imagine now that the hall opens wider. You see corridors branching infinitely. Everywhere, doors, some glowing, some dark, some ajar. You realize this archive is not only behind you, it stretches ahead as well. Future memories are already waiting, written in possibility, awaiting their moment to open. The infinite archive is not bound by time. It holds past, present, future, all interwoven, all humming together. When you recall, you touch not only what has been, but what will be. Memory is not only backward, it is forward too. It is the thread connecting all directions. Pause once more. Imagine yourself as both reader and page. You walk through the archive, but you are also written on its walls. Every breath inscribes you deeper. Every silence etches you further. You are not outside of memory. You are memory itself. The universe is vast, but nothing is forgotten. Every star, every grain of dust, every voice, every heartbeat, all part of the archive. It is infinite, it is eternal, and it holds you tenderly, without judgment, without end. As you rest tonight, let this truth settle around you. You do not need to remember everything. The archive already does. You do not need to fear forgetting. The archive never forgets. You do not need to strive to be eternal. You already are. Rest now. You are written. You are preserved. You are carried in the infinite archive forever. There comes a moment when the journey of memory circles back. After wandering through corridors, after standing before mirrors, after walking gardens of loss and rivers that remember, you arrive again at silence. But this silence is not empty. It is filled with echoes. It is filled with all that has ever been, whispering together, singing softly, reminding you that nothing is ever truly gone. Eternal echoes surround you. Every breath you take is layered with the voices of countless breaths before. Every sound you hear is built on the reverberations of forgotten songs. Every heartbeat in your chest is both your own and the rhythm of generations. You are not alone. You are never alone. You are resonance carried forward. Imagine standing at the center of a great cavern. You speak a single word, and it returns to you again and again, each time softer, each time farther, until it becomes part of the hum of the stone itself. This is how memory works. This is how existence works. You speak, you act, you live, and everything you are enters the cavern of eternity. The echoes continue long after you have gone quiet. Pause. Think of someone you loved who is no longer here. Perhaps their voice still lingers in you. Perhaps their smile returns unexpectedly. Perhaps a gesture of your own reminds you of them without warning. This is echo. This is memory that does not die. They are carried forward in you and through you into those who come after. Science tells us that no energy is destroyed. It shifts, it transforms, but it remains. So it is with memory. It may change shape, it may fade from thought, but it endures as vibration, as influence, as echo woven into the fabric of the world. The echoes are not only personal, they are collective. The songs of a people, the prayers of a community, the cries of protest, the laughter of festivals, all of it continues. You may not hear it, but the vibration is still moving, shaping lives, shaping futures. The eternal echo belongs to all. Imagine walking at night beneath the stars. Above you, light millions of years old falls upon your skin. You are touched by echoes of suns long gone. You are illuminated by memory older than Earth itself. The universe hums with echoes, each star a bell, each galaxy a chorus, each black hole a silent drum. The cosmos is an endless symphony of memory, and you are both audience and instrument. Pause again, listen to your own silence. Beneath it, there is always a hum, the faint ringing of your blood, the vibration of your breath. These are echoes too. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Your hands remember how to hold. Your lips remember how to speak. Your heart remembers how to ache. Even when thought fades, the body keeps echoing. Some echoes are gentle gifts. A lullaby you still hum without meaning to. A phrase that belongs to your grandmother but now slips from your own mouth. A gesture learned long ago that still guides your body. You do not choose these echoes. They simply live in you, proof that memory is not bound to thought alone. Other echoes are heavy burdens. A cruel word once spoken, a silence that wounded more than noise. These too reverberate, sometimes painfully, sometimes long after the moment has passed. But even these echoes have purpose. They teach you compassion. They remind you of the weight of presence. They whisper, "Be gentle with your sound, for it may echo longer than you intend." Pause once more, breathe, think of your own echoes. What words, what gestures, what silences will live on in others? What vibrations of you will continue long after you are gone? You may not know. You cannot know. But know this, they will continue. You are already eternal echo. The earth itself holds echoes. Canyons carved by rivers long dry. Fossils of creatures long vanished. Mountains bearing scars of ancient fire. The land remembers in its own language, written in stone, written in water, written in wind. And when you walk upon it, you walk across echoes, each step reminding you that the ground beneath you is alive with memory. The universe holds echoes too vast to measure. Cosmic background radiation still hums, a remnant of the first explosion, the birth of time itself. It has never stopped. It fills the universe with faint sound, like a lullaby sung at the beginning of everything. You are surrounded by it, whether you notice or not. You live inside an echo older than all memory. There is awe in knowing you are part of this chorus. You do not end when silence comes. You continue. Not only in the minds of others, not only in the echoes of your words, but in the vibration of being itself. Your atoms continue. Your energy continues. Your echo continues. Imagine yourself now, standing not in a cavern, but in a great cathedral of stars. You whisper, and the universe answers. Not with words, but with resonance. Every star hums. Every planet vibrates. Every echo blends with yours. You are part of the infinite harmony. Pause. Let that truth soften you. You are not lost. You are never forgotten. You are eternal echo, woven into every sound, every silence, every ripple of time. Even forgetting cannot erase you. Forgetting is only silence, and silence is part of music. It does not destroy the echo. It frames it. It lets it linger, It lets it be heard more clearly. So when you fear being forgotten, remember this. Nothing is ever erased. The laughter you gave, the love you offered, the tenderness you shared, they continue, not always loudly, not always visibly, but they continue. They are eternal echoes, vibrating quietly in the hearts of others, in the air itself, in the fabric of the world. As this journey ends, let yourself rest in this knowing. The corridor of memory has led you here, to silence filled with echoes, to stillness filled with song. Infinity does not mean endless distance. It means endless resonance. You are part of it. You always have been. You always will be. Rest now. The echoes will hold you. The echoes will carry you. The echoes will remember you. Eternal, endless, unbroken. You are memory. You are echo. You are forever.